Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to use a strategy for solving division equations. Division allows us to split things into equal groups, and it's important that we understand division because it helps us do everyday things like sharing equally, measuring ingredients, managing our time, and so much more. So we already have a head start on dividing because we know how to multiply, and recently we've been practicing multiplication using equal groups. So we're going to do something very similar today. In the future, we're going to be able to build on what we learn about division today to solve for unknown numbers in division and multiplication equations. So when we have a division problem, there are two ways to solve it by creating equal groups. So one is using a measurement model and the other is using a partitive model. And you don't have to worry about these big words, just know that when we use a measurement model, we know the number of objects in each group. And when we use a partitive model, we know the number of groups. So when we use a measurement model, we're looking for the number of groups, and when we use a partitive model, we're looking for the number of objects within those groups. So I'm going to start by showing you a measurement model. So when we use a measurement model, we're looking for the number of groups. So if we wanted to solve 12 divided by 2 using a measurement model, we know that when we're dividing, the dividend is the number that's being divided, the divisor is the number we're dividing that number by, and the quotient will be our answer. So our quotient will end up right here. In this problem, our dividend is 12 and our divisor is 2. So 12 is going to be the total number of objects. And using the measurement model, 2 is going to be the amount of objects in each group. So here's what I'm thinking. I think that if I know there are 2 objects in each group, I can make groups of 2 until I have all 12 objects, and then I'll know the number of groups I need. So let's do that. So I think I'm going to start by just doing groups of 2 until I have 12. And I think for my objects, I'm going to use stars. So I'll make 1, 2. So there's one group of 2. So right now I have 2. And I can circle that to know that that is one group. Because remember, we know the amount of objects in the group, but we don't know the amount of groups we need. So I'm going to do this until I have 12 stars total, and we'll see how many groups I have, and that will be my quotient. So now I have 2 groups of 2, which equals 4 stars. And I'll just keep doing this until I have the amount of groups I need. So right now I have 2, 4, 6, 8 stars. So I still need 4 more stars. So I'm going to make 4 more stars and I'll make those into groups. And now I should have 12 stars. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stars. So I have all of my objects, and I know that there are 2 objects in each group. And so now the number of groups that I have is going to be my quotient. So the number I have of groups I have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know that 6 is the answer to this problem. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So I took the dividend, which is our number of objects, divided by the divisor, which is the amount of objects in each group, and I got my quotient, which is the amount of groups. Let's try this again, but let's use 12 divided by 4. Alright, so 12 divided by 4 equals, so for this one, I know my quotient is still 12. So overall, I'm going to need 12 stars total. But this time, I know that there will be 4 objects in each group. So I'm going to have 4 stars in each group instead of 2. So let's make groups of 4 until I have 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's one group. One, 2, 3, 4. There's another group. And now I have 8 stars total, and I need 12. So I think I'm going to need one more group. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's count our stars to see if we have all 12. So we have 4, 8, 12 stars. So we have 12 stars, so I know we have our full amount of objects, and they're split into groups of 4, and the number of groups is going to be my quotient. And the quotient just means the answer to a division problem. So I have a quotient of 3. 3 groups of 4 stars makes 12 stars. And 12 divided by 4 equals 3. So that is how we can use the measurement model for dividing using equal groups. Now let's talk about the partitive model. So in this kind of model, we have the number of groups is what we know, and we're trying to figure out how many are going to be in each group. Alright, so I want to solve 12 divided by 3 using this method. So let's write 12 divided by 3. So if I know the number of groups and I don't know the number of objects, then what I can do is make 3 equal groups. So we're going to make enough groups, so 3 groups, and fill those with 12 stars. And however many stars are in each group is going to be my quotient. So I'm going to make 3 groups. So I'll just make 3 big boxes. And I'm going to fill these up until I have 12 stars total. So your dividend is going to be your number of groups. Your divisor is going to be the number of objects total, and our quotient eventually will be the number of objects in each box. So I think what I could do to make sure that I'm getting an equal amount of stars in each box, I think I'll put them in one by one until I've put in 12 total. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're halfway there. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I've filled all of my groups with 12 stars total. So now the number of stars in each of the 3 groups is going to be my quotient. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 stars in each group. And that will be my quotient. So we took the number of stars total and divided them up into 3 groups to find that there were 4 stars in 3 groups, which makes 12 stars total. Now let's practice this same strategy using 12 divided by 6. Alright, 12 divided by 6. So if we're using a partitive model, that means we know the number of groups. So that means we're going to have 12 stars total, and we're going to have 6 groups total. So let's make 6 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I think what I can do, because it worked last time, is go through and put a star in each box until I've used up all 12 stars, because I know I have 6 groups and 12 stars, so let's add stars to each box equally until we have 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So each box has 1 star so far, and we're halfway there, so we're going to add 1 more to each box. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So now we have 12 stars total, and there are 2 in each of our 6 boxes. So our quotient is going to be 2. And remember, a quotient is just an answer to a division problem. So we knew we had 12 objects total, and that we were going to have 6 groups. So we divided those 12 into 6 groups and found that there were 2 in each group. So now that we know how to solve division equations using equal groups, you'll be able to do this pretty easily. And you can either do that by starting with the amount of objects in each group and then figuring out how many groups you have, or you could do it by knowing how many groups you're going to have and adding objects to those groups. I personally like this method, but everyone's different. So I want you to remember that dividing is splitting a number into equal groups. So be sure that each of your groups has the same number of objects. If I went through and I skipped one of these, and maybe I skipped a box and put a star in one, and then I missed one and I put another one in here, then that wouldn't be dividing, because division has to be equal groups. So always check your work by making sure you have equal groups and making sure that you have the right amount of objects. And your number of objects should always be the dividend.